Hello everyone, this is Robert Radford from 50 Years of Chess. My next opponent puts a smile on my face because something he said. We played twice in one season, and it's something he said which I'll share with you later, but first of all, let's go to the game. I'm playing white against Stuart Ansell. This is not Ansell, the international master. Stuart Ansell. He was in Bristol for a couple of seasons back between about 93 and 95, 96, and then I believe as a student at Bristol University, I think he went back to whichever place he lived at or went on to his career, whatever degrees he got. So he was a decent player, but as far as I know, he had a rating of 152 when I played him, and that would have been about 1750, 1770, something like that. So he was quite decent. It was a Board 1 match in Division 2, South Bristol versus Bristol University B. I started with e4. He played knight f6, so we wanted to play allocates, so I'm quite happy to oblige him with that. Knight f3, d6, bishop c4, knight b6, and bishop back to b3. There is a nice line where instead of retreating the bishop, you take the pawn on f7, but that's something you need to find out about. I'm not going to tell you, it's a little secret. So, I still use it, that's why. So, we followed this with, he brought his knight out on c6, and I pushed the pawn on. That made it interesting. Now, this is not new, it's been around a while. He played f6, which cannot be good, but he played it anyway. I played queen e2. Now he's making room to bring out the queen, so surround that pawn with the queen and bishop. But I'm okay with that. I played the other knight out. a6, d4. Here we go, queen d6. I castled, he took the pawn. So for now he's a pawn up. So I tapped his queen. If he takes my queen on f4, I take his bishop on e6, and it's not good for him. So he went back, but the problem was I just took on f7. He got a little bit agitated because I was making my moves quite fast, and then standing up and walking around looking at other games. Sometimes back then I used to feel a bit restless, and I didn't like sitting at the board for long periods of time or anything. So he came in with knight into c4, looking to take the b pawn. So I took it. I'm going to allow him to do that. So he retook the pawn, and then I moved my bishop out to b6, where it's nicely nestled, stopping the rook from getting behind the queen on d8. Now he's trying with the other knight to do something. I played the rook behind my queen from the f, so he has to move the bishop, which he does. He goes into d5. So I took, and he retook the knight, and then I put my queen into e6 rather than bishop to either a5 or c5. I wanted to keep that bishop blocked in for as long as possible on f8. So queen takes, rook takes. Stockfish has him slightly better because of the situation. Attacking my rook. I supported my other rook. He went knight b4. Again, he wants to win one of those two pawns. If he wins the one on a2, I play c3, and then he loses the knight. So, very quickly. So he played rook to c8. Now I'm attacking the knight to try and tempt him to take the pawn, which he wouldn't do, of course. And he went knight to d5. So again, I went back in with my rook to keep that bishop shut in for as long as possible. And he played g6. I played knight into d2. I'm looking to go to b1 and then c3. He's tucking the knight with the bishop. He's finally got his bishop out and connected his rooks. Now he's played bishop into f4. For some reason, I played knight to c3. Stockfish approves of his move. Stockfish has given me a 3.6 plus now with white. He plays the bishop back in, the bishop into e6. So you could say my rook is trapped. It's trapped. But I played knight takes knight, king takes rook, and then I hit his rook on c8 and he came out to c6. And he believes he's going to lose a bishop, but I had bigger fish I had my eyes on, which was check, winning the rook back. I now went up to 5.1 and I'm moving quite quick and walking around, and he's getting very agitated and got up and started walking around himself. And because I'd only taken about 12-14 minutes on the clock and he'd taken over half an hour, he suddenly looked up and said quite loudly, while everyone else was still playing, "What's going on here? This guy has taken a pee out of me." And straight away, everybody went, "Shh." Yeah, it was so funny. He was so agitated, got upset with himself. And I didn't know what to say or do, but I just kind of smiled. And he went king back to f7, and I took the rook on d6. He took the pawn, and then I took on c4. So he can't even take the b2 pawn now. So he's a whole piece down. I'm threatening to take the bishop, so he went back to bishop b8, and then I'm attacking that pawn on e7, which he pushed straight away. Unlike my last opponent, who resigned when he was a piece down and felt there was nothing, he was so upset and annoyed. He didn't want to give it. He didn't want to let this game go. So I played bishop a5. He played bishop a7, and then rook into d1, threatening rook d7, picking up the bishop off the check. So he moved his king. So upset was he that he didn't even play king. He didn't even move the king onto the back rank or anything. He wanted to get his rook out and everything, but then of course, bang, rook d6 check, and 2 pawns are going to drop. And that's when he said enough's enough, and he slapped my hand with his hand and got up and started walking around looking at the other game. So Mr. Ansell wasn't very happy with me in that game. I think he felt I was being disrespectful by getting up continually to walk around and look at other people's games. But the last I saw, you're entitled to do that if you want. So I did enjoy that game. I did like a bit of controversy, providing it's is all done properly. So there you are, a win over Mr. Ansell in a very interesting game. But guess what? I got another one against him, and you're going to like that one too. So just hold on, I'll be back in a second.